Hello friends, hola amigos! Today we're going to dive into this Android 12 operating system of my Sinosmart screen. Welcome to this new video. So before we dive into the details of this screen, if you really like this screen and you want to buy it, please stay to the end of this video where I show all the details. Now for me, the Sinosmart solution is one of the best combinations as the quality is great, but the price is also really feasible. When you start it up, you have this home screen, which personally I don't like, but I will make another video on how to change this with something of your own taste. But default, you have here on the left the car and your driving speed. This is animated, but you can change the car, you can change anything. You can swap it over to music if you want. Here you can set your navigation wizard, and I have my Waze set up here. Note that Waze only works if you have an internet connection. As I use CarPlay and I'm not connected to my hotspot right now, the screen is blank. Here I have my radio. You can set 4 applications of your choice. You can switch directly to the navigation window if you want to, and you can go to all the applications. So really straightforward. Now here in the top you have the time. You can choose if you want to show the battery level, which I really think is a nice little feature. You can see my navigation and that my Bluetooth isn't connected as I'm connected to CarPlay. I can see all the screens that are open. I can switch back to home. Now when we go to the applications itself, it's really like you're used to on an iPhone or a tablet. You have all the applications come with the system. Also you have the Play Store, so you can add applications you like yourself. So you can change, of course, a lot of things on the tablet itself. So for instance, the color, I choose orange to match the light effects on my Nissan Qashqai, but if I would like to set blue, or you can see the button change to blue or green, I can set it to white, and there you go. Now then also we have the DSP, where you have a lot of settings for the sound, how the speakers in the car are used, but I really like this option where you can easily set what speakers should be used. So for instance, when I'm driving and listening to music, but my wife is on the passenger seat making phone calls, I can quickly switch to the left speaker only. Or when the kids are listening their music on the radio, I can simply switch back over there as well, and I can reset it easily. Now we have the amplifier as well, where you can set all your sound preferences. So the 360 degrees app activates this button that you can slide everywhere you want, but on every system reboot it switches back over to the left upper corner. I prefer to use this command because if I hold it, it switches over to the side cam and it's just back over to normal. For now, let's just toggle this off, as I don't use this button anyway. Then we also have the steering wheel controls, but you can change this, as on the Qashqai there is a CAN bus and all the buttons are fixed, so it is for other cars that don't have the CAN bus option. Now then we have the settings in the car settings, file manager where you can browse through your files as well. It's a little bit like you have the Explorer on your computer, and you can still see how the screen is really reactive. Radio, you can set radios as you're used to. It has AM as well, but I will make a dedicated video for all that is music and video. If you want those videos, please subscribe to the channel. It will help me a lot. Just hit the subscribe button and you will be alerted as soon as I post new videos. Now when we swipe from the top to connect to internet, see my Bluetooth, have access to all the quick settings, and we can reboot the system as well. We have a little setting option there as well. That is a shortcut to the setting menu. I'm not an Android user and I'm not a huge Android fan, so I have to admit that it is quite fiddly to find your way through the Android menu, as there are many ways to access same options. But I'm using the system for over a month now and I finally find my way through. This is the main menu to control the tablet itself, the screen itself, and when I go back to the other settings, the car settings, there you have typical settings that belong to the car itself. So like the settings for the reverse camera. But basically you don't do a lot of things here. So here you have your CAN bus settings, for instance. I only had to activate automatic parking, so this model of car can park itself. I had to switch it on. And you can change your language settings, but beside that I didn't have to change anything over here. So all the main settings are right here. So before diving into the settings, let's go to CarPlay quickly. So the CarPlay is wireless, of course. I'm filming with my iPhone right now. So for CarPlay, there's a little thing to know, is that when you start the car, the phone connects directly to Bluetooth. But when the Bluetooth is connected to the tablet, it doesn't always connect correctly to CarPlay. So you simply hit the disconnect and you tap the iPhone again and it connects automatically to CarPlay. If you like this resolution where you see a lot of ways, where you have 5 applications in a row like this, please check out this video where I show how you can set up this high resolution CarPlay. So CarPlay is, of course, as on all the cars, really straightforward. You have your applications that you're used to. I mainly use Waze, sometimes in split screen mode, like here. I can use my Apple Music. And the sound is great as well. You see, I can change the sound here, I can change it here, I can tap there as well. So that's for CarPlay. I mainly use this, but if I press the home button, I go back to the Android operation system. For the radio, I listen to DAB+ radio that you can see here. You can set favorites. Op 14 Max kan je doorklikken. That's really nice, with album art as well. And it starts automatically in the background. Now I think that it's good to know that to access all the settings, it is always better to activate your hotspot, because not all the settings are available on the system itself, so it connects to internet in the background. And then a lot of settings are in the factory, where you can enter the code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and confirm. And here you can see all the factory settings. If you set brake setting to close, you can watch video even while driving. Of course, I don't advise to do so, but it is possible. And if you have some specific question, an option that doesn't work as it should, you contact the support line by WhatsApp. I will share the phone number in the video description, and they are really reactive despite the time difference. You always get an answer within the day, but often way quicker. And they're so kind, so helpful. So don't hesitate. If you're stuck with something, just contact them. They will be pleased to help you. Now another factory setting is when you enter by 888, confirm. And here You can see if you want door animations, you can choose which logo you want to set. Here you can see again brake settings, so it's really confusing that you have the same option on different ways. You can set autoplay, so which application should start up by itself as soon as the system boots up. You can set the language. You can choose which application handles your phone calls. So here I use CarPlay, but if you untick the box, it will be the system itself and the Bluetooth connection of the Android OS. Here we go to the Android settings menu. So that should be familiar if you have an Android phone. For the things that you have to get used to, here you can see the traffic sign has 3 stripes on it, and that's because with this system it doesn't recognize the max speed by itself. However, if it sees a traffic sign with a speed on, it will show, but as soon as you turn into a new street and you don't have a traffic sign, you have these 3 stripes again. But as I use Waze shows the speed in the corner anyway, it's not that a big deal. And another thing, you don't have the turn-by-turn navigation, but as you use Waze you won't have that anyway, so no problem for that neither. And then a last thing, and that's a little bit awkward and you have to get used to it, is that my answer button on the steering wheel ends my phone call. So I'm still discussing with the support team if there is a solution for that. You just have to know it and press on the screen to answer your phone call. It isn't that a big deal for me. And then for the camera, if you really use to activate your camera with the button, there again you have to get used that you have to press this voice command and hold it, and there you can see we switch to the camera. For the resolution, I think it's a little bit better. My cameras are quite dirty now as it is freezing here in Belgium, but especially to have the big screen is really helpful. And when I press it again, it goes to the side. I can see my front wheel, and when I press it again, we go back to the home screen. So although I think it's a really nice solution, it isn't expensive at all. It looks high quality, especially when you use other launchers. Like this is my main car launcher, and admit it is looking awesome. It is reliable. It didn't fail on me anytime before I used wireless dongles, and there I had some connection troubles. This always starts up quite straight away. CarPlay doesn't always connect by itself, but it is a 3-press button solution, so a few seconds I'm up and running. So if you like this as well, you can find the link to my full review in the video description, where I discuss the installation of the screen and how to buy it. You can also find the link where to buy it on AliExpress. If you use my link and you mention my code to the seller, you will get the best price, but you also will get the DAB Plus adapter and 2 Fakra cables for free. So mention my code and you will get those products for free. And if you contact the seller before buying, you can also discuss how to avoid to pay import taxes. So put this in your basket, contact the buyer with my code and discuss on how to avoid the import taxes, and you will be helped out on the best way possible. So if you like this video, please subscribe. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next video. Bye bye.